Well, hello, my name is Marco and I'm going to talk to you about marijuana. Globally, marijuana is the most commonly used drug, an illicit drug, and it is classified as a Schedule 1 controlled substance. Marijuana is a mood-altering drug that affects almost every organ in the body. When marijuana is smoked, THC, a chemical from the plant, passes to the lungs, then to the bloodstream, and from the bloodstream to the brain. People who smoke marijuana feel these effects almost immediately. Some of the effects are extreme of relaxation or extreme of euphoria, but other common effects may vary dramatically between every person, include heightened sensory perception, laughter, altered perception of time, and increased appetite. If marijuana is consumed by a beverage or food, these effects are delayed. There's a study in which people who smoke marijuana are put in a 16-day trial in which from the first to the fifth date they are allowed to smoke marijuana. From the fifth date to the sixth from the sixth date to the eighth day they are in abstinence. From the ninth day to the 13th date they smoke again, and from the 13th date and on they cannot smoke marijuana anymore. And this showed an overall measure of withdrawal discomfort increased significantly during the abstinent phases and returned to baseline with marijuana smoking resumed. Craving for marijuana, decreased appetite, sleep difficulty, and weight loss are some of the effects of the abstinence from marijuana shown in this study. Aggression, anger, irritability, resentfulness, and strange dreams increase significantly during the abstinent phase, but not the other. Collateral observers confirm participant reports of these symptoms. Marijuana affects perception and judgment, and is associated with low achievement. Marijuana also causes memory and learning disruptions, which can specifically affect those in high school and or college. Marijuana use can also lead to delinquent behavior, aggression, rebellion, and poor relationships with your family, especially your parents. According to the social impact of drug abuse, the effects of drugs in the workplace depend on the specific task being performed. Highly technical tasks that require concentration and memory are more likely to be affected by a drug use than manual labor.
Well, I'm going to talk about cocaine. First of all, what is it? Cocaine is a highly addictive drug that ups your levels of alertness, attention, and energy. The purified chemical cocaine hydrochloride was isolated from the plant more than 100 years ago. In the early 90s, purified cocaine was the main active ingredient in many tonics and elixirs developed to treat a wide variety of illnesses, and was even an ingredient in the early formulations of Coca-Cola. Today, cocaine is a Schedule II drug, which means that it's a high potential for abuse but can be administered by a doctor for legitimate medical uses. Other names for cocaine are coke, snow, rock, blow, and crack. Cocaine comes in a few different ways. The most common is a white thin powder, but it can also be made into a rock solid crystal. But how does cocaine work? Well, this drug sends high levels of dopamine, a natural chemical messenger in your body, into the parts of your brain that control pleasure. This buildup causes intense feelings of energy and alertness called a high. Other short terms of cocaine may include extreme sensitivity to touch, sound, and sight, intense happiness, anger, and irritability, paranoid feelings, and decrease of appetite. The consequences of consuming cocaine. As we know, cocaine causes a short-lived, intense high that is immediately followed by the opposite, an intense depression, edginess, and a craving for more and more of the drug. People who use it often don't eat or sleep properly, and they can experience greatly increased heart rate, muscle spasm, and convulsions.
Hello, my name is Diego and I'm going to talk to you about the consequence and effects of LSD. Well, first of all, LSD is one of the most potent and mood-changing chemicals. It is manufactured from lysergic acid, which is found in the ergot fungus that grows on rye and other grains. LSD is sold on the streets in small tablets, capsules, or gelatin squares. It is sometimes added to absorbent paper, which is then divided into small squares decorated with designs or cartoon characters. Well, the effects of LSD are unpredictable. They depend on the amount taken, the person's mood and personality, and the surroundings in which the drug is used. LSD users often experience loss of appetite, sleepiness, dry mouth, and other tremors. Visual change are among the more common effects. The consumer can be fixed on the intensities of center colors. The effects of abstinence. The ability to form sound judgment and to see common hazard effects. You might consider watching the sunset fun when you have consumed LSD, but you had not realized that you are in the middle of the highway. Many LSD users experience flashbacks or the recurrence of the LSD journey, often unexpectedly longer after taking it. LSD users may experience relative long-term psychosis or severe depression. Individual consequence of consuming LSD. Your appearance, your physical appearance will change. For example, dilated pupils, higher or lower body temperature, loss of appetite, sleepiness, and dry mouth. Also, you can suffer from panic, depression, psychosis, and other mental illness. And the social consequences of consuming LSD are that people who suffer from peer pressure or social anxiety may abuse from LSD to feel accepted by a group. When an individual starts to use LSD, he or she may feel accepted or enlightened. Extended LSD use can result as an addiction. Also, it will be difficult to hold down a job. LSD can affect the consumer personality and lead to the problems with its family and relationships. Thank you.
Hi, I am Andrea Chavarri and I am going to talk about heroin. The heroin is an opioid drug made from morphine and it contains additives like sugar or starch that can clog the blood vessels, leading to the kidneys, the liver, the lungs, and even the brain. It acts on many parts of the brain and obviously will attack the nervous system. Its abuse may lead to change the way in which the brain chemistry works. It enters the brain rapidly and binds to opioid receptors, located, for example, in areas involved in feelings of pain and pleasure, and the heart rate, the sleeping, and so on. It has short and long term effects. Some of the short term effects are dry mouth, nausea, and clouded mental functioning. Those effects are present when the person is taking the drug. And the long term effects are insomnia, liver and kidney disease, collapsed veins. The collapsed veins occurs when the person will inject the heroin direct to the bloodstream. When the person wants to leave the drug, you will have to follow an abstinence process, and it has consequences that include nausea, muscle cramps, depression, and anxiety. That's because the body will begin to feel like it necessarily needs the drug and it will not feel good without it. Consuming drugs, consuming heroin, or every drug, has individual and social consequences. The individual ones are based on the damaged mental functions, like lack of concentration, lack of memory, intelligence will diminish, and the knowledge previously acquired will decrease, the impulses will reduce, and it will probably lead to depression. The presence of any addiction is an erosive agent for the family nucleus, and that's a social consequence. The person will stop giving importance to affective or economic needs, and it may lead to dropping out of some responsibilities like school or the job. And well, that's all I have about heroin. Thank you.
Hi to everyone, I am Alejandro Guadalupe Rodriguez Ham, and I'm going to talk about the methamphetamine. The methamphetamine is a stimulant that it reacts with the nervous system, and it is mainly used as a common drug that it can sell. It can be sold with, well, you may know as how can it can do, right? But it is also a, well, as I already mentioned, it's a recreational drug, yes, and it can be also it can be also used as a treatment, as a medicine. It can be developed, it can be processed in a laboratory, and it can be used as a medicine. There is a little of conflict of people that say that methamphetamines and drugs like that need to be legalized, and other part of the people say that no, they don't want to be legalized these drugs. Also, the methamphetamines have two types. They have two types. There are the dextromethamphetamine and the levomethamphetamine. These are two types that were discovered a few years back, not that late, but the methamphetamines were discovered in the year of 1893. Yes, and the methamphetamines were also first of all were there were a treatment for people that have a lot of diseases, a lot of diseases. Obviously, these treatments doesn't work, but nowadays that we can process them in a more in a better way, in a more a legal way, in a laboratory with all the instruments and all the scientists. We can do a lot of medicines with this drug that is mainly used for recreational drug, as I already mentioned. But all of these facts and data that I am saying to you, it's actual information that happens today. And well, you can find methamphetamine in a lot of places. Here in Mexico, for example, it's a really common drug. And well, that's all for methamphetamine. Have a good day, and I am Alejandro Guadalupe Rodriguez Ham. See ya.
Finally, we are going to talk about tobacco and alcohol. Characteristics. They are among the top cases of deaths in the country. Moreover, these substances are often used together. The most important effects of these two are that they harm your health, and if there is excessive consumption, it damages even more. Withdrawal effects. Some withdrawal effects are the nicotine anxiety, anger, frustration, and irritability. And final, we have the consequences. There are two. Individual, that it provokes too many diseases like cancer of mouth and throat, liver cancer, and cardiovascular diseases. And then we have the social, that it can produce violence and car accidents.